Welcome to Tides of Memory, where the past isn't forgotten. My name is Tom, and today we try to answer the question, how powerful were the Greeks at their heights? Imagine standing on a marble terrace in Athens. The year is 440 BCE. The air is thick with incense and the hum of debate. Below you, the agora buzzes with philosophers, merchants and citizens engaged in something uniquely Greek, democracy in action. Ships bearing the owl of Athens sail into the Piraeus harbour, laden with tribute from dozens of city-states. Statues gleam under the sun, temples rise in blinding white stone, and at the heart of it all stands the Parthenon, its columns defying time itself. You are witnessing a civilization at its height, a world where power wasn't just measured in legions or gold, but in ideas, influence, and reach. But how powerful were the ancient Greeks really? Could they rival the might of Persia or the future grandeur of Rome? The answer, as always, is layered. To understand Greek power at its zenith, we must first understand that Greek power never meant a single unified empire. It was a tapestry of fiercely independent city-states: Athens, Sparta, Corinth, Thebes, bound by language, religion, and a shared mythology, but often divided by politics and ambition. Start with Athens, during what historians call the Golden Age, roughly between 480 and 404 BCE. Emerging victorious from the Persian Wars, Athens did something remarkable. Under the leadership of Pericles, they forged the Delian League, an alliance of city-states originally meant to defend against Persia. But Athens quickly transformed that league into its own empire. Tribute poured in from across the Aegean. Some paid willingly, others under the shadow of Athenian triremes. At its height, Athens controlled more than 170 city-states, and those triremes, the core of Athenian power, were technological marvels. 3 tiers of oarsmen, fast, agile, deadly in close quarters. Naval supremacy meant trade supremacy. Athens became rich not just in silver from its mines at Laurium, but from the movement of goods across the Mediterranean. Olive oil, pottery, wine, knowledge, it all flowed through the city like blood through veins. Then there was Sparta. Where Athens was culture, Sparta was discipline. By the mid-5th century BCE, Sparta had established itself as the ultimate land power in Greece. Its hoplites, citizen soldiers, trained from boyhood, forged in brutality, and governed by a code of honor and fear. While Athens built an empire through sea and silver, Sparta controlled the Peloponnesian League through land and intimidation. At their height, they could field a coalition force that no single city-state dared face alone. Together, these two poles of Greek power created a duality that defined the age: the intellectual brilliance of Athens against the stark militarism of Sparta. And their rivalry would erupt into the catastrophic Peloponnesian War, a generation-long struggle that devastated the Greek world, but also revealed its enormous power. But the Peloponnesian War is a subject for another video. Yet the story doesn't end there. Even after the fall of Athens in 404 BCE, Greek influence continued to radiate outward. City-states rebuilt. Philosophers like Plato and Aristotle refined the intellectual legacy of Socrates. Art, architecture, and drama flourished anew. But the next great surge of Greek power would come from an unexpected place: the rugged kingdom of Macedon. By the time Philip II rose to power in the mid-4th century BCE, the old city-states were fractured, exhausted, ripe for conquest. Philip, through cunning diplomacy and superior military tactics, particularly the introduction of the phalanx with its long sarissas, unified Greece under Macedonian rule. And then came his son, Alexander the Great. If Greek power had once been a regional tide, Alexander turned it into a tsunami. In a campaign lasting just over a decade, he carved an empire stretching from Greece to Egypt, through Persia, all the way to the fringes of India. At its height, it was the largest empire the world had ever seen. But it wasn't just about land, it was about culture. Alexander didn't just conquer, he spread. He founded over 20 cities named Alexandria. Greek became the lingua franca of the Eastern Mediterranean and Near East. Temples, theatres, gymnasiums, Greek-style institutions sprang up from Anatolia to Bactria. Hellenistic culture, Greek blended with Egyptian, Persian and Indian elements, reshaped the ancient world. Greek power by this point was no longer confined to city-states or even a single empire. It had become a civilizational force. Long after Alexander's death in 323 BCE, his successors, the Diadochi, continued to rule Greek kingdoms across the east: the Seleucids in Syria and Mesopotamia, the Ptolemies in Egypt, the Antigonids in Macedon. And even as these kingdoms warred with each other, Greek art, science, and philosophy flourished. Consider this: in Alexandria, under the Ptolemies, stood the Great Library, an attempt to collect all the world's knowledge. Thinkers like Euclid, Archimedes, and Eratosthenes advanced mathematics and engineering in ways that wouldn't be surpassed for centuries. Greek astronomers charted the heavens. Greek physicians explored anatomy. Greek dramatists and poets shaped the future of literature. Even Rome, arguably the most powerful empire in Western history, looked to Greece as its cultural parent. Roman generals conquered Greek lands, yes, but Roman elites studied Greek philosophy, quoted Homer, modelled their architecture on Greek temples. As the Roman poet Horace said, "Greece, though captured, took her captor captive." So how powerful were the Greeks at their height? Militarily, they were unstoppable in their prime. Spartan hoplites unmatched on land, Athenian fleets ruling the seas, Macedonian phalanxes redefining warfare. Politically, they were fragmented but influential, their city-states setting early standards for governance, law and diplomacy. Economically, they thrived through trade, tribute, colonization and cultural exports. And intellectually, they laid the foundation of the Western mind. Greek power was never just about territory, it was about legacy. Their strength lay in the reach of their ideas, the belief in reason, the pursuit of beauty, the questioning of truth, the drama of the human condition. And that is perhaps the most lasting kind of power. Even today, millennia later, we walk through buildings with Doric columns. We watch tragedies and comedies in the spirit of Euripides and Aristophanes. We use words, democracy, philosophy, academy, that echo from their world. We ask the same questions Plato asked. We debate ethics like Aristotle. We wonder at the stars like Hipparchus. So while empires rose and fell, Persia, Rome, Byzantium, the power of the Greeks endures in our language, our institutions, our very thoughts. That is how powerful they truly were. Not just rulers of land, but architects of memory. Thank you for watching Tides of Memory. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more historical deep dives into the tides of history. Don't forget to check out my YouTube channel for more content like this. And as always, stay curious.